In today's video, you're going to learn how to create a pop-up user registration form in WordPress. And today's demonstration will be based on this documentation page. I'll leave a link in the description down below. I already have mail opt-in installed, so from the WordPress dashboard, we'll hover over its menu item on the left and click on opt-in campaigns. Now we'll go to add new and we'll name our opt-in. I'm going to call mine registration, but you can name yours whatever you want. And the next step is to choose a template. I think this one is fine. All right, so we can see a preview here of our opt-in, and I'm just going to show you that once you click on its elements, you'll see a menu open up on the left where you can edit its options. Let's start by editing the headline. I'll change the default text to create an account. Okay, looks good. Now we'll go ahead and edit the description. We'll say edit your details below to create a free account. So we'll move on to the form fields where we'll start by editing the name field. I'll go ahead and remove the default title and replace it with something simpler like full name. And of course, we can change the color, background, and font, but we'll stick with the defaults. This field is also required, so we'll keep that on, and we'll move on to the next field. We'll make one change to the email field where we'll change its title to email address, and then we'll create a new custom field and call that one password. This time we'll change the type to password, we'll make the font color black, and we'll also change the font to match the previous fields. I'm going to repeat this process to add a username field. And by the way, your browser may autofill the username and password field on the opt-in, so don't be alarmed if you see this. Let's add one more field for a biography, and the only difference is the type, which is text area. Once we're done adding the fields, we can drag and drop to change the order. So we'll place username under the email field and keep biography last. And also keep in mind that we cannot reorder the first two fields. Now moving on to the button, we'll change its label from subscribe now to create account. Then we'll change its background color to a dark green. Okay, so the note is not important at all, so we'll go ahead and turn that off. Once we click on it, we can toggle the hide note switch. Once we're done with fields, we can go back to the main menu to move on to configuration. This section has two toggle options, hide close button and close on overlay click. We also have an option to set a sound effect which will play when the pop-up opens. If you want, you can also configure your cookie durations, and if you want to remove mail opt-in's branding, you can keep this option turned on. We'll go back to the main menu to move on to integrations. So here we have the option to store our leads as mail opt-in leads only. But in our case, we don't want this, so we need to set up an integration. We'll choose WordPress registration from the dropdown, and we'll set the user role for signups to be subscriber. We can also toggle automatic logins, and then we'll move on to map custom fields. So we'll map username to username, password to password, and we don't need website. Let's move on to display name. We'll map that to username, and this one will be mapped to biography. Once you're done, click on save. And now we can return to the main menu to move on to after conversion. Here I'll change the success message to thank you for signing up. If you want, you can also configure an autoresponder. You'll just have to edit your message here, add a subject, and activate the autoresponder and save your changes. Now we'll go back to the final tab where we can configure our display rules. Page targeting lets you choose exactly where the opt-in will be displayed. By default, it's set to globally, but you could choose another option. For our example, we'll stick to the default option and we'll go back. We'll move to user targeting, and then we can choose exactly who we want to show our opt-in to. In our case, we're going to show our opt-in to only users that are not logged in. Now we can go back and configure what I call a trigger, and that's basically what makes the opt-in show up. We'll choose after X seconds, which means after a specific time. The opt-in will just pop up on the screen. I'll make this about 10 seconds. Now let's toggle the switch to activate the rule and save our changes. Once our changes are saved, we can go back to the previous menu, turn on the opt-in and exit to the dashboard or the opt-in campaigns page. Now we're going to open our website in a new incognito window since we are going to be logged out in this mode. Remember, we're only showing our opt-in to logged out users. Alright, so after about 10 seconds, our opt-in should be displayed. So we have about 3 seconds left. Alright, here's the pop-up. So all we need to do now is fill out this form, and I'm going to speed up this part of the video. Alright, so once you click on create account, you should see your success message. Now to see if the user was registered, we'll go to users, then all users. So here, if we take a look at the third line, we'll see the user that we just signed up. And also if we take a look on the right, we'll see that the role that was assigned is subscriber. Alright, so now you know how to create a pop-up registration form in WordPress. Thanks for watching and see you next time.